Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So good afternoon once again to all. Here we are writing a few questions. Oh, I have not shared my screen.
So the screen is not visible.
Yeah, I know. I have not shared it.
Okay.
Okay. So in today's class, not only today, for this week, subsequent week, we will learn solutions. Okay. Solutions is the first chapter in physical chemistry for you. Okay. There is this chapter on solid state, but it is removed from your syllabus. Okay, I have a feeling that the people who removed it from the syllabus and the people who have mentioned this year as a part of the first chapter in deleted portion, I feel that these people and these people are different. Okay, now these people did not know about this to my knowledge. So we will find out. So we have some confusion. So we have some confusion over solid state. Okay, so till the time that confusion is over, we will continue to have that confusion and we will not do solid state. Instead, we will look at solutions. So in this chapter, we are going to work with solutions. Yeah, solution. A solution, what is a solution? It is a homogeneous mixture. It is a homogeneous mixture of two substances. Okay, one is called the solute and the other is called the solvent. Okay, that substance which is in larger quantity, is called the solvent. That which is in smaller quantity is called the solute. Okay, so the larger quantity is called the solvent, the smaller quantity is called the solute. If it is 50-50, you can call either one solute and either one solvent. Okay, so a homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous, what do you mean by homogeneous? Homogeneous means it will have the same constitution throughout. It will have the same constitution throughout. Okay, then mixture means the two constituents do not lose their individual identity. The two constituents do not lose their individual identity. Suppose you take salt and suppose you take water and you make a mixture of salt water, it will taste like salt and it will have the properties of water. It can also be used as a fire extinguisher. Okay, so it will have the properties, the physical properties of both. Not only physical properties, it will show the chemical properties also of both. So they are loosely bonded. The two constituents do not lose their individual identity, and they can be separated. By simple physical means. Okay, in certain cases by distillation, in certain cases by filtration. Filtration, of course, you can't. Distillation, you can. Fractional distillation, you can. So there are different methods. Okay, so this is a solution. Yeah. Now we are talking only of binary solutions. Binary solution is a solution in which there are only two components. So you can add a sugar plus salt plus water and make a solution. But this is not a binary solution. A binary solution is a solution where there are only two components. So we are going to read only about binary solutions. Okay, am I clear here? Yeah, I'm going to start with physical chemistry. I'm starting from the beginning. Purva, some error in my earlier discussion. We are starting with physical chemistry. Okay. Yeah. Now, if this is done, next, the first thing we are going to learn is something called as the strength of a solution. Or expressing strength of a solution. So there are different ways in which the concentration, strength of a solution, also called the concentration of the solution. Okay, or the concentration of the solution. There are different ways in which it can be expressed. Yeah. So we are going to learn how the strength or the concentration of a solution can be expressed. So the first thing that we are going to learn is in terms of percentage. The first thing that we are going to learn is in terms of percentage. So when you talk in terms of percentage, again, there are multiple ways you can talk. You can talk in terms of mass percentage. You can talk in terms of mass percentage. Mass percentage means mass of a mass of solute or solvent divided by total mass into 100. Mass of solute or solvent, whatever you want, by total mass into 100. What it means is that if you take 100 grams of solution, how much is the particular constituent? If you take 100 grams of the solution, how much is the particular constituent? Suppose you take a 10% weight on weight solution of let me say ethyl alcohol in water. What it means is that if you take 100 of solution, 10 is ethyl alcohol. 100 grams, 10 grams is ethyl alcohol. And if 10 grams is ethyl alcohol, common sense tells 90 grams is water. Yeah. So in mass percentage, we are talking only about the mass of the constituent. Yeah. Now, because mass is independent of temperature, the weight on weight percent does not change with temperature. Okay, so mass is independent of temperature, so weight on weight percent does not change with temperature. We will do few examples once we learn a few things. We will do. First, you understand what is the meaning of percentage. Percentage means 100 ke evlo, 100 ke evlo. Okay, so if I take a 5% solution of salt, weight on mass m by m, then what does it mean? It means that in 100 grams of solution, there is 5 grams of salt. So if there is 5 grams of salt, the rest of it, 95 grams, will be water. Okay, so if you take 100 grams, 5 grams is salt and the rest is water. So this is what it means. Next, you have volume percentage, written as V by V percent. So here, what does it? What is the formula? Volume of component divided by total volume of solvent into 100. That is, in 100 liters or milliliters, how much is that component? So suppose you have a 10% solution of ethanol in water, it means in volume by V, then it means there is 10 milliliters in 100 milliliters, means there is 10 milliliters of ethanol, C2H5OH, and 90 milliliters of H2O. Okay, so but what it means is that 10 milliliters of ethanol in 100 milliliters of the solution. Now with temperature, volume changes. So the volume by volume percentage of a solution will change with temperature. The volume by volume percentage of a solution will change with temperature. Okay. Now this volume by volume is usually worked out when you have one liquid with another liquid. Sir, in the denominator you have given total volume of solvent, no, solution. Total volume of solution. Okay, solution. SOLUTION, total volume of solution. Total volume of solution, not solvent. Even mass percentage also is total volume of solution, not solvent. always solution, total volume of solution. Mass percentage also total volume of solution, total mass of solution. Okay, so both mass percent, volume percent is always based on total volume of total volume or mass of solution, not an individual solvent. Yeah, volume is lower than usual. I will shout longer, no problem. Volume of solute by volume of solvent. No, Akhilesh. V by V means volume of solute by volume of solution. Yeah. Solution, total volume of solution. Okay. Yeah. Now, if this is done, then we have another one. We have mass by volume percentage. Usually used when solids are put in, usually used when solids are dissolved in liquids. So it is mass of component in volume of solution into 100. Definition wise, it is the mass of a component in 100 milliliters or liters of solution. Percent means 100 kevlo. So in 1 liter of salt water, in 1 liter of salt water, or not 1 liter, let's say in 0.2 liters of salt water, suppose you have 10 grams of salt. Then what will be the mass by volume percent? So it will become 10 divided by 0.2 into 100. 10 divided by 0.2 into 100. 10 divided by 0.2 into 100 will become what? So you have seen 0.2 of salt water, you have 10 grams. So this will become 0.2 will become 50 here. Yeah, but this will become 50 here. So 50 into 100, 50 into 100 is 5,000. So you'll get 5,000 grams in 100 liters. Okay, percent means for 100 how much. So here we are talking about liters, so it will become, if you want to find out in 100 ml how much, we can find out 0.2 liters is 200. So in 200 ml you are getting 10 grams. So in 1 ml you are getting 10 by 200. 10 by 200 into 100. So 0, 0, 0, 0 cancels. So that will become equal to 5 grams per 100 milliliters. So the weight by volume percentage here is 5. Okay, usually it is given in milliliters. Usually it is given in milliliters. So you can say it is the mass of component dissolved in 100 milliliters of solution. Usually it is given in this format. Most solutions are usually given in terms of, I mean, all percentage is given in terms of volume by volume also. It doesn't matter because units get cancelled there, it doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, is this understood? Volume, sorry, mass by volume percentage, M by V percentage. So you have three types. You have M by M percentage, you have V by V percentage, mass by V percentage. When you take a cough syrup, if you take a cough syrup, there will be lot of components in it. For a lot of components, they will be giving the percentage in mass by volume percentage. There they'll be writing M by V. Wherever there is liquid in liquid, they'll be writing V by V. Okay. Yes, it is temperature. Anything which is having volume is temperature dependent, because volume itself is temperature dependent. Yeah. So if you take M by M, not temperature dependent. If you take V by V, temperature dependent. If you take M by V, again temperature dependent. In fact, this is more temperature dependent on this, because the numerator is not temperature dependent, only denominator is. So here both numerator and the denominator are dependent. So the effect is little bit leveled. Yeah, but here it is not like that. Numerator is not dependent, denominator is dependent on temperature. Here both are not dependent on temperature. Okay, here both are not dependent on temperature. Next is parts per million. Also called as ppm. So it is the number of parts of component divided by total number of parts in solution into 10 power 6. So parts per million, that means per million parts of solution, how many parts is the component? Okay, how many parts is the component? Yeah, so to give you an example, here, density of seawater is suppose 1.03 grams per milliliter. Right? Density of seawater is 1.03 grams per milliliter. 1 liter of seawater contains 6 into 10 power minus 3 grams of oxygen. Okay, the question is, what is the ppm of oxygen? We are talking about binary, so don't worry about the salt, ignore the salt, work with what you know. Work with what you know. So here if you see, the amount of the substance is very, very less. So wherever the amount of the substance is very, very less, we talk in terms of parts per million. Now, because it is parts per million, if in the numerator you take grams, denominator also you take grams. If the numerator you take molecules, the denominator also you take molecules. In the numerator, if you take milliliters, denominator also you take milliliters. In my case here now, because it is given to me already in grams, so I'll also work in grams. So if I take 1 liter of water, so 1 liter of water has 1030 grams. Now in 1030 grams, I have 6 into 10 power minus 3 grams of oxygen. Okay, so approximately in 10 power 3 grams, I have 6 into 10 power minus 3 grams of oxygen. So if I take 10 power 6 grams, how much will I get? I will get 2 into this much. So it will become 2 into 6 into, oh, I'm sorry. It is 6 into 10 power minus 3 into 10 power 3. So these two will get cancelled, and in 10 power 6 grams of water, I will get 6 grams of oxygen. Okay, so the ppm I will say is approximately 6. So it is 6 ppm, 6 parts per million. If I divided exactly, I should have taken 6 and divided it by 1030, and maybe I would have got a number little less than 6, whatever it is. Do you understand this? ppm, parts per million. This one is more temperature dependent. This one is less temperature dependent. Parts per million. Okay, parts per million. Okay. Sir, how volume by volume is less dependent? Both numerator and denominator both increase with temperature. So, yeah, both increase in temperature. See, new volume is equal to old volume plus volume coefficient of volume expansion into, that is gamma into delta T. Okay, so the new volume is equal to old volume into 1 plus gamma delta T. Yeah, so now both numerator and denominator will have this. The problem is the gamma values will be different, but if gamma values are the same, this is also independent of temperature, but gamma values for different liquids will be different, so each will expand differently. Okay, but one increase is little bit affected by the other. But when you have mass by volume, this is not changing with volume. Only this is changing with volume. Okay. Yeah. So if you understand that, then let's move on. Next one is mole fraction. Mole fraction. That is equal to number of moles of one component divided by total number of moles in solution. That is equal to mole fraction. Suppose you have two components. So mole fraction of A is equal to number of moles of A divided by number of moles of A plus number of moles of B. Suppose you have many fractions. Mole fraction of A is equal to number of moles of A divided by number of moles of A plus number of moles of B plus number of moles of C, and so on. Okay. Now remember, mole fraction of sum of mole fraction of all components is 1. Sum of mole fraction of all components is equal to 1. Okay, so sum of mole fraction of all components in a solution is equal to 1. Now, when we are in mole fraction, I'll explain to you a little bit. Generally, when you have gases, we talk a lot of mole fraction. Now, in case of gases, mole fraction of A will become equal to partial pressure of A divided by P total. If you have only two components, then mole fraction of A is equal to pressure of A divided by pressure of A plus pressure of B. Then mole fraction of B is equal to 1 minus mole fraction of A. How do you get this? Here. Okay. So now if this is all understood, then let's attack. So let's do this question. So here there is a solution containing 20% of ethylene glycol by mass. And they are asking you to calculate the mole fraction. So the way we go ahead is, now in this solution, there are two parts. There is glycol plus water. Now it is told to you that it is 20% by mass. That means if this is 20%, total is 100, right? So if this is 20 grams, this will be 80 grams. So that the total solution will be 100. If this is 20 grams, this is 80 grams, such that the total is 100. Okay. Now, ethylene glycol, C2H6. C2H6O2 means 22, 12 into 2, 24 plus 6 plus 32. So, how much will this be? 2 carry over 1, 62. So, the number of moles of ethylene glycol will be 20 divided by 62. Total number of moles of water will be 80 divided by 18. So, mole fraction of A is equal to 20 by 62 divided by 20 by 62 plus 80 by 18. Yeah, so you can work this out and then calculate. You can find out, you can work it out and calculate. You are not given calculators in your exam, and you have to calculate to 3 decimal places. All answers have to be reported to 3 decimal places. Okay, so 20 by 62 is approximately 0.333. So this is 0.333 plus 18 into 4. 18 into 4 is 72. 8 by 18. 8 by 18 is same as 4 by 9. 4 by 9 means 4444. So 4.4444. So this is equal to 0.3333 divided by 4.777. So this one calculation you will have to do and report. Okay, so that one calculation you will have to do and report. So you will see that it will be 0.068. So the mole fraction of ethylene glycol in its 20% solution is 0.068. Okay. So this is understood. Yeah. So in this question, isn't it necessary to mention that the solution is aqueous? No, if nothing is mentioned, it is water. Okay, if only solute is mentioned and nothing is mentioned, it is assumed to be water. Okay, so if you understand that, great. Next is molarity. Molarity is number of moles of solute or solvent in 1 liter of solution. Number of moles of solute or solvent per liter of solution. This is molarity. Related to molarity, you have normality. That is number of equivalents of solute or whatever solvent in 1 liter of solution. Okay, normality equals n factor into molarity. So this is number of moles, number of equivalents, number of moles of solute per liter of solution. This is number of equivalents of solute per liter of solution. So normality is equal to n factor into molarity. Okay. So if this is understood, then small question for you: calculate the molarity of a solution. Calculate the molarity of a solution containing 5 grams of NaOH in approximately 450 ml. In 500 ml of solution. Oh, your book deliberately has taken all kinds of vague numbers to give you practice in division. Calculate the molarity of a solution containing 5 grams of NaOH in 500 ml of solution. Yeah, equivalent of a molecule I will tell for normality. We will work it out, no problem. Okay. So now to answer this question, you have 5 grams of NaOH. So Na is 23, O is 16, H is 1. So when you multiply them, it will become 40. Okay. So you have number of moles of NaOH in 1 liter of solution. That is normality, right? So in 500 ml, you have 5 grams. So in 1000 ml, you will have 10 grams. Now 10 grams is 10 by 40. That is 0.25 moles. So the molarity is 0.25 m. Okay, so molarity is 0.25 m. So this is a 0.25 molar solution. Okay, so if this is done, then next thing. I will explain to you equivalence, and that I will explain to you. Next is molality. Molality is the number of moles of solute in 1 kilogram, 1 kg of solvent, of solution. No, 1 kg of solvent. It is the number of moles of solute in 1 kilogram of solvent. Okay, suppose MS is the solute dissolved in m grams of solvent. Then MS divided by molar mass. Molar mass is the number of moles. So now so many moles are dissolved in m grams of solvent. So in 1 gram of solvent, you have MS by molar mass of solute divided by m. Now into 1000. So this is per gram. So now if you multiply it by 1000, you'll get the number of moles in 1000 grams of solvent. So molality is the number of moles of solute in 1 kilogram of solvent or 1000 grams of solvent. Okay. So if you understand this question, determine the molality of a solution where 2.5 grams of CH3COOH is dissolved in 75 grams of benzene. 2.5 grams of CH3COOH is dissolved in 75 grams of benzene. What is the molality of the solution? Molality refers to the number of moles of solute in 1000 grams of solvent. Molality does not have any volume. Because it does not have any volume, it is also temperature independent. Okay, molality is temperature independent. This is a temperature independent scale. That means the molality of a solution is not affected by temperature. Determine the molality of a solution where 25 grams of CH3CO, 2.5 grams of CH3COOH is dissolved in 75 grams of benzene. So in 75 grams, you have 2.5 divided by CH3, 12 into 2, 24, 24 plus 32, 56, 56 plus 4, 60. So many moles of ethanoic acid. So in 1 gram, you will have 2.5 divided by 60 into 75. In 1000 grams, you will have into 1000 moles per kg. Okay, so you find this out. So 25, so 10, 25 will go 3 times. Yeah, 10, 10 will get cancelled. So then it will become 5 divided by 9. So 5 divided by 9 means it will become 0.555 molal per kg. So 556 molal per kg. Molal is written as MOL per kg. Okay, answer to be given to 3 decimal places. So 5 by 9 is 0.556. So it is 0.556 molal solution. Sir, if some part of the solvent is frozen and some part of it is present in the liquid phase, then molality of the solution will be determined only by the amount in the liquid phase. Yes, liquid phase, amount in the liquid phase. It is taken to be, yeah. Molality, L-I-T-Y. So this is molality. Okay. So now if you've understood this, then let's do 3-4 more solved questions so that we are done for the day. Not for the day, for the subject. 22 grams of benzene is dissolved in 122 grams of carbon tetrachloride. Calculate mass percentage and molality. (22 grams of benzene is dissolved in 122 grams of CCl4. Calculate mass percentage and molality. Also answer, why will benzene dissolve in CCl4? Why will benzene dissolve in CCl4? Then is CCl4 a protic solvent or an aprotic solvent? Calculate, yeah, mass percentage and molality. Then is this a protic solvent or an aprotic solvent? Yeah, so it dissolves because like benzene is polar, non-polar covalent compound, CCl4 is also non-polar covalent compound. So they'll dissolves like. Yes. Yes. Okay. But I asked you for the molality. So 22 grams mass percentage. Mass percentage is 22 by 122 plus 22. So that will become 22 divided by 144. So 22 by 144 into 100. So 22 by 144 into 100, we can find out 2200 dividing it by 144. So once 144. So here 6, here 11, 7. So 760. 760 means approximately 5 times. So 20, 0 carry 2, 7 to 2. So 400. So 15 point, approximately 15.3%. So the answer is 15.3%. Now you have to find out what is the molality. That is the main question. Yeah, mass M by M ratio is 15.3%. Okay. So I hope you are able to understand. Next question is molality. Molality. Molality is moles per kilogram of solvent. So 22 grams of C6H6. 12 into 6 is 72. 72 plus 6. How much is 72 plus 6? 78. So 22 by 78. Yeah. So 22 by 78 will be approximately equal to 24 by 80. So point here, 0.3 here. So it is 0.3 moles in 122 grams of solvent. Yeah. So in 1 gram of solvent, it is 0.3 divided by 122 in 1000 grams into 1000. So that will become 300 divided by 122. So that will be approximately 2.3 molal. So it will be 2.4 molal or moles per kg. Yeah, 2.5 moles per kg. Yes. Very few people responding. Yes, Pranav, Sanjana, Harris. There are many Pranavs. Bragadishwar. Are we getting it? Bragadishwar, Prem. Are we guys there? We are here. You are here, I know, but are you getting it? Got it. Okay. So, shall we do one more question? Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. So, if you guys are getting it, one more question. Okay. Find this out. A solution is 30% by mass of C6H6 in CCl4. What is the mole fraction of benzene? If you guys have your textbooks, there are 5 questions on page number 39. We can just work out those 5 questions and then we are done for the day. A solution is 30% by mass of C6H6 in CCl4. The question is, what is the mole fraction of benzene? Yeah, next is physics class. Physics, I'll be doing only doubt clarification. So only if you guys have doubts, I will have something to speak. If you have no doubts, I have nothing to speak. Or okay, I'll give this as homework. We just take a break. We'll just take a 15 minutes break and then we'll continue. So it is 2:12 now. So we will start at around 2:20. 2:22 we will start. Okay. So let's take a break. 2:22 we will start. We'll start with the physics class. Yeah. Take a break and then we'll start.